We're going to start our session.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our workshop on the Daily Pass. My name is Elizabeth Lomelli. I am a parent educator coach for Local District Central. I will be presenting today along with my partner, Alex Campbell, also a parent educator coach for Local District Central. He represents also Jefferson South Central Community of Schools and Historic Central Avenue. I represent Koreatown Pico Union. And welcome. So there is interpretation available for you today in Spanish. If you'd like a Spanish translation, select the language of your choice. At the bottom of the screen, you will see that you can click on Spanish and please mute your original sound to get better reception. Habrá interpretación en español hoy. Haga clic en el símbolo del mundo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla. Seleccione el idioma que le gustaría escuchar y participará y escuchará la presentación en el idioma de su elección. En este caso es español. Y también oprimir donde dice mute original sound para solo escuchar el idioma de su gusto. Today's presentation is in webinar format, which means that you will communicate with us using the Q&A feature on Zoom. Okay, so if you'd like to ask a question, please do so in the Q&A feature of Zoom. And we're going to start our inclusion activity, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So which of these statements is true for you? I have used the Daily Pass before. I have heard of the Daily Pass. Or I have never heard of the Daily Pass. If you have used the Daily Pass, please put a 1. If you have heard of the Daily Pass, put number 2. And if you have never heard of the Daily Pass, put number 3. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Great. I could see that many of you have used the Daily Pass. And many of you have heard of the Daily Pass. And fewer of you have never heard of the Daily Pass. So we're happy that you're here with us today so that you can learn about the Daily Pass. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So for our expected outcomes for today, we hope that by the end of this presentation, you are familiar with how to create a daily pass for yourself and for your child or for your children if you have more than one. And so we're going to follow the safe steps to safe schools here at LAUSD and use the daily pass. So these are the things that you're going to be doing when you access the Daily Pass. So you're going to answer health check questions, and this is to know whether you or your child, especially your child coming on campus, has any symptoms of COVID-19. So for those daily health questions that ask about symptoms, the answers are no, and if there are any yeses, then the daily pass will not be generated. You can see the second illustration has the QR code that will be generated from the daily pass, which will allow you to enter the school. On the daily pass, you're going to be able to make appointments for your child for the COVID-19 test. And you are also allowed to take a test as well. The daily pass is linked to your COVID-19 test results and to your child's COVID-19 test results. And now there's a feature on the Daily Pass that allows you to book a vaccination appointment so that you're able to get your vaccine. And remember, students 12 years or older are eligible for the vaccine. Through the Daily Pass, you can make that appointment. Now remember, the Daily Pass is accessible on a tablet, a laptop, or a cell phone. As you can see, we've got those devices here to remind you that you can use the Daily Pass on any of these devices. Now, when you're there in person at the school, you're going to see large posters with the Daily Pass questions. And again, it's that daily health check to make sure that you or your child, and those of us who are on campus, also staff, we're required to complete this as well. This is to ensure that we do not have any of the symptoms associated with COVID-19. And it also helps us to be committed, right, to following health and safety procedures that are set forth before us so that we can stay safe and our children and stay well and stay healthy, and our children can as well. So before arriving to school, you would complete the Daily Pass health check, and a QR code would be generated. And again, to generate that code, you would respond to those daily health check questions. So important information to remember. It's highly recommended that you use your parent portal account to access the Daily Pass and to schedule those appointments for your child. So it's greatly facilitated for you if you're already registered on the parent portal to use the Daily Pass. And you can access the Daily Pass right from the parent portal. Also important information, you're going to need your child's student ID number. It's a 10-digit number. It's found on your child's report card. It's also found in the parent portal because more than likely you may not memorize it. So those are some of the places where you'll be able to find that ID number. Now, again, the Daily Pass is connected to your COVID-19 test result as well as your children's test results. And you can go into your Daily Pass to check the results that come back after having taken that test. Okay. There is a district community engagement team that clears students and employees after they have tested positive. So that's a process that families will be guided through by this team. The district has this community engagement team, which is part of Local District Central, and they're in charge of the operations surrounding COVID-19 testing, the results, and making sure that we're all safe and well in order to be on campus. And so now my partner, Alex, is going to take over from here as I show the video. So I'm going to turn off my camera and I'll share the video.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We're now going to watch a quick video on the safe steps to returning to school.
Welcome to the Daily Pass, the one-stop shop digital tool to gain entry to a Los Angeles Unified School campus or district office. This tool, which was developed for Los Angeles Unified in partnership with Microsoft, allows individuals to answer daily health check questions, receive a Daily Pass QR code, schedule a COVID-19 test, as well as receive test results and reminders. The Daily Pass is available to all Los Angeles Unified employees, parents, and visitors. Students who are 13 years and older, parents will need to complete the Daily Pass health check for their child who is under the age of 13 via their computer, tablet, or any mobile device. To obtain your daily pass, which follows guidelines set forth by the LA County Health Department, simply go to dailypass.lausd.net and click on Parents. Parents will need to log in using their parent portal account. Parents can register for an account by clicking the first link provided on the main login page. Once logged in, click on Get Daily Pass. Select the person or people for whom you are creating a pass. Choose the campus or office you will be entering from the drop-down menu. Take the daily health check, which includes a commitment to healthy behaviors, as well as the county-required wellness and exposure check. Once cleared, a QR code will be generated for that date and site. Upon arrival at the school site, a school staff member, known as a welcomer, will scan the QR code at entry and take your temperature. Thank you for using the Daily Pass, as we take every step to ensure we keep our school and workplace as safe as possible.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We're now going to go back to the presentation.
All right, and how do I go back?
Welcome to the Daily Pass, the one-stop shop digital tool.
It went to a web site to view the video, so you might have to go back and showing the previous screen in order to get back.
Let me just go back. There. But now,
Tool to gain.
oh, there we go. Okay. So now I can go next, I think. No?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Parents, thank you very much for allowing us to work through our technical difficulties. We will resume very shortly.
So are you able to see that?
Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is the landing page for the Daily Pass. When you land on the first page of the Daily Pass, this is what it looks like. Now, this is a reminder that with the Daily Pass that you can get a pass to go onto campus, as well as view your test results, as well as schedule an appointment. However, in order for you to use the Daily Pass, it is a parent portal email account is needed. So if you have not registered for parent portal, the address, the link for parent portal is right here in the red. And then you can sign up for parent portal through that first in order to access the Daily Pass. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you what it looks like as you go in order to get your Daily Pass. So as a parent, you'll click on parent. We're going to go on to the next slide. So this is on this slide is what it takes you to once you click on parent. Right here, as a parent, you'll log in using your email address and password from your parent portal account. It's the same one. You put it in here and you'll be able to log in. If you're clicking on as a student, your child is 13 years and older, is getting the Daily Pass for themselves, they'll be logging in with their My Mail account. Next slide, please. So here is where you would put your information. Now you only have to do this when you're logging into the Daily Pass for the first time. So you'll enter in your name, your first and last name, your race, your ethnicity, your address. This is ordered to identify who you are and set up your profile on the Daily Pass. So after that, we're going to go to the next slide. On the next slide, you'll now have the ability to select what you're trying to do. And you can get your daily pass here as well as schedule an appointment. And also a new feature that Elizabeth mentioned earlier is that now you have the ability to schedule a vaccination appointment through the daily pass. But now we're going to practice getting our daily pass. So we're going to go ahead and click get daily pass, and it'll take us to the next screen. Next slide, please. No. Back up one, please. At this slide, you will now be selecting who you are going to be getting the daily pass for. Is it for yourself? Is it for one of your children? You would go on and you'll click on one of their names. Now, you will only be able to do this if this person has received a negative test result from their baseline test. And once they have received the negative test result, their name will be available for them to click. If the child or the adult has not received a negative test result, their name is grayed out and they're unable to do it, and you just have to wait until that negative test result becomes available. So after you select the person, you then go on to the next slide. And now you're selecting the location of where you're going to. Whether it's the office or the school site, you will find it in the drop-down menu, and then you'll press next. Next slide, please. At this time, you will be answering your daily health check questions and agree to your healthy behaviors in order to keep you safe on campus. So you'll press accept. And then you'll go through answering these questions to see if you're symptomatic. And if you're not symptomatic and you agree, you'll press I agree. If you are symptomatic, then you'll press disagree. So right now we're gonna go with the I agree option, and then we'll show you the I disagree option after that. So I agree, and then it's gonna take us to our QR code, and this is our sample daily pass. And this is what you will be able to show at the school site in order to get in. I recommend taking a screenshot once you get to the daily pass. So when you get to the school, you can just show them your picture and get right in. Sometimes trying to pull up the daily pass while you're in line is problematic because of your website, or I'm sorry, your internet access with your mobile device. So again, I recommend taking a screenshot of your daily pass. So if you disagree with your health check questions, you are symptomatic, you'll see a slide, a screen that looks like this, and it says, looks like you're not feeling well today. And it's gonna alert you to go click on this link for you to get tested at another location, and they will then let you know where, how you will then proceed on if you're feeling symptomatic. So our district offers several different hotlines for us employees as well as us families and parents to answer questions regarding the daily pass. For families, the phone number is 213-443-1300. For employees, the help desk number is 213-241-2700. And the help desk is open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We also have a help desk for health and wellness. It's very important, especially during the times of the pandemic, for us to stay in a positive mindset. And if you have mental health concerns and immunization questions, or food or housing enrollment questions, please feel free to contact the wellness number at 213-241-3840. We're all here and we're eager to help support our families as well as our staff during this pandemic. So please take advantage of these numbers. I would recommend taking a screenshot of families right now of this information so you can have it at a later date. Okay, so now this is a reminder. What steps can I take to prepare my child? Okay, remember, you can schedule a COVID-19 test on the Daily Pass. And remember to do that, you must first sign up with Parent Portal. You can wear a face mask, and it says wear a face mask properly. Remind your children that wearing the face mask below the nose is not the proper way to wear the face mask. In order for us to be safe, we have to wear a face mask, just like it's showing here, these two children. Remember to wash your hands often. Remind your children to wash their hands. And remember to maintain a safe social distance. So parents, I would also suggest that you take this opportunity to take a screenshot of this screen. So this is for the mobile testing unit for Thursday and Friday. The mobile testing unit will be at these locations for a test to help your child receive their baseline between 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Thursday and Friday. So if you're unable to go to one of the testing units, one of the testing sites as at Evans or Carver Middle School, these testing sites are also available to you. If you need help, again, here's the number for the hotline, 213-443-1300. Next slide. Now, parents, we're going to open it up for a question and answer session. We're going to do our best to answer your questions in the Q&A that you've been adding on throughout our presentation. Elizabeth, do we have any questions that we can go over?
So, Mr. Campbell, there are a couple of questions. One of the main questions is possibly looking at where to go for the COVID test if they haven't already done so.
Okay.
And so if you can
I'm going to put that. So if you have not taken a test so far, we have two standalone testing sites at Carver Middle School as well as Evans. And it's Evans Adult School. Is that right, Ms. Argin?
It is Evans
Yes.
Adult School.
Yes. And those sites are available to you, and they are open. But in addition to that, Ms. Lomelli, do you mind going back to the slide of the mobile testing unit schedule that we can also show families additional options that they have for Thursday and Friday? So these are additional locations where mobile testing will be available for their baseline for yourself and your students. So please, again, take a screenshot of this so you have an opportunity that if you're unable to go to Evans or Carver, you can go to one of these testing sites if this fits you better.
There was a question about parents also having to test. And so staff members and students are required to test to be on campus, and staff members and students will generate a daily pass when they have a negative test result right after having taken the test. Parents probably will not be on campus. Ms. Arreguin, would you like to follow up on that?
So parents, yes, parents and guests can come in as a guest, but you would need to, if you don't have the daily pass, upon entering the school, you would be required to answer the questions that are on our posters asking about how we're feeling, have we been exposed, and there's a couple of questions there that you would need to answer. And of course, you would be able to come in and do school business in the front office, most likely. If you are there as a volunteer, then volunteers are required to have the weekly tests. So again, there's still a format for guest community members to come in for official business like we regularly do. If you're a volunteer, you would need to take the test and do the daily pass. But other than that, that would be the procedure at this time. I'm gonna ask Ms. Lomeli, I think I want to share my screen because your screen, for some reason, I apologize, it's difficult for people to see right now.
Okay,
It's
okay.
blocking. Let me see if I could pull it up. And I apologize because our technology today,
Sorry about that, everybody.
it's not helping us. We just had a session. We've had so many sessions and we've not really had those situations. But as you know, technology, sometimes we struggle with it. So
There was a comment, Ms. Arreguin, about the daily pass not having the option for a guest any longer. But parents, go ahead, Alex.
If we can pull up the slide that shows, I think it's step 4. I believe it shows that the guest option is still available. That slide is actually from my own parent portal daily pass account. I have children at the district, and I have to do a daily pass for them. And this is from my you just passed it. Slide step right here, that you're still able to get a guest daily pass. And this is as of today, so that functionality is still there.
So I'm gonna double check right now because I also saw the guest option that's continued to be an option. We do have that as an availability. And if you're having a technical difficulty, then we might be able to help you through that. But definitely there is a way of coming in. And again, please remember that if you're coming on site to visit the school and you are a parent, there are procedures in place to be able to have you come in and conduct your business. Some of you might be enrolling, maybe you're dropping off some information for the nurse or for the teacher. And so you would, in lieu of a guest daily pass, you would be able to answer those questions upon entering the school site and be able to conduct business at schools.
I'm gonna see if there's any other questions.
So we do
Also, to Ms. Arreguin, shall we show our information in case folks want to reach out to us to obtain the PIN and the ID number for their child?
Okay, so yeah, we can go to the page that has all of our information. I know that there's different scenarios for folks. The key is that your child takes the COVID test within our time frame. So you're still in time if your child has not taken the COVID-19 test, if they're coming to school in person. So please know that that would be the number one thing to get completed, is to be able to do that. Now, to make entrance to the school site streamlined, and that we have the ease of having all that information on their daily pass, then of course that would make it easier for students to come on campus. So we want to make sure that we have smooth transitions. If you have the parent portal, if you create your appointments, that's a one-stop shop for us. You go into your daily pass, you have that ready, then we will be able to start school and be able to come in a safe manner. We know that we have a lot of students coming in at the same time. And so we want to think about how to make those transitions easier. The daily pass is new to many of our families. Many of you have already used the daily pass who came back to school in person in the spring. And so once we develop routines, we should be streamlined every morning. But we know that there's some glitches. We know that we have some families that are still new to our district that are learning some of these systems. We will be hosting additional meetings. Yesterday, we had a parent portal overview. Parents had questions. We provided them with a place to connect, either the hotline, their schools, I was able to help many of the parents this morning that needed assistance. So I've been responding in the Q&A and giving you us our information also so that we can get back to you. But the number one thing is making sure that you have that COVID-19 test for your child. The school would have access to the students as they come in. So let's say you don't have the daily pass. I know that there's a family here who indicates they're not able to use technology, or technology is a struggle for them. That would not impede you to be able to come either on campus or your child, as long as you have a current test for your child. And so let me see.
Sorry, again, something that I wanted to let our audience know, all our families know, that the return time for the once taking the daily pass to receiving the results, I believe that it's mentioned 24 to 48 hours, but it's been my experience that the return time is actually around 12 hours. It comes back very, very quickly. And so, like you said, we're still within the window to receive that. And our testing sites will be open. Carver and Evans will be open on Saturday, so you can still go this weekend and still be cleared to come to school on Monday.
Yes, we've learned and have adapted and making sure that we have the availability of the test where it's more convenient for families. Will also be open on Saturdays. There might be some additional supports this weekend that we will enhance and provide to families. So please know, again, the important piece is just getting your COVID test completed. I have a parent here who's asking in the Q&A, are parents required to take a COVID test too? So no, you are not required, but you're able to take the test. So if you would like to take the test yourself, when you come to our sites, you would be able to take that test. Make sure that it's very important that we connect you with the daily pass to be able to connect your family, your child, everybody together in that daily pass. But you certainly are welcome to take the test, but not required. We also offer vaccinations, right, for students and families 12 and over. And so that is also something we're just reminding families, if you're ready for that, certainly make an appointment to be able to do that as you're thinking about returning to school. And again, unless you are a parent volunteer, that would be not just coming in for an enrollment or for some questions that you might want to ask, make sure that you do those families, those parents would have to take the COVID test in order to generate the daily pass and to be able to interact on a daily basis for their volunteer service. So for those of you that are doing the online classes, you will be receiving messages from this City of Angels school. I know I spoke to a couple of families today that they have gotten messages indicating they received their request that they will be meeting with a teacher, and you will be getting all that individual information with the City of Angels schools. You probably may not have had the appointment already, but you will be connecting with the school and the teachers for City of Angels. Now we will have technology at the school sites, including online classes. So you'll get more information with that. If you're unable to,
sorry.
Mhm.
There's a question about new students. This question was a freshman who has not yet received the ID number. How long is it taking for new students to get their ID number?
So usually the ID number is generated. So if you're a brand new student to LAUSD, the student ID number usually is generated within 24 hours. That's typically what it looks like. It might be a little bit longer during this time frame. Once you have your student ID number, you should be able to get access to your PIN. If you do not have access to your PIN, you call your hotline number, call the school, or you can connect with one of us. We'll provide our information so we could help you individually. Again, that's an important piece for our new students so that they're also ready to go the first day of school. We know that that's a concern for some of our families, especially if you're just enrolling. We have parents moving in the area. maybe coming from out of state. There's different scenarios. So we're definitely just like any other year, right? We continue to accept enrollment and continue to provide supports for our families.
So about 24 hours for new students to get an ID number.
Usually
Now-
it generates within 24 hours upon enrollment.
Okay.
That's a typical time frame. Again, it can be more than that, but typically that's what it would take.
Also, if students are not able to generate a QR code, they will not be able to attend class, correct?
So no, if for any reason you're not able to access the daily pass, you're not able to access or show the QR code, students that have taken their test and have their results would still be able to come into class.
Okay, that's true. You're right.
Yeah. So there,
But
there's
for
there's gonna-
students who have not taken the test, they're going to be directed to go and get the test, right, completed and then return.
So it's very important to please have your COVID-19 test completed. And again, we have multiple opportunities, multiple sites, multiple schedules to be able to support your family, including Saturdays. Some families are also, if you have taken your own test, some families have taken them with their own providers. You are able to upload those test results onto the Daily Pass so that they're reviewed and approved through a different process. But yes, you are able to do that.
And Sarah Gain, regarding external tests, is the district accepting all external tests, or are they only accepting certain kinds that will be approved?
So I know that they're looking for certain requirements for the test. I'm not able to tell you which one exactly. That's not my area of expertise, but they will
The
inform you
PCR
if
test?
Yes, the PCR test. In fact, in the Daily Pass, it explicitly says PCR. So I have learned that some of the home tests that folks are using are not approved, but it should be a PCR test.
So families, if you already have one, submit it and they will give you information about what we would need, whether it's a test that we're able to take or not. And then the health expert from our district would be able to respond to those individual needs.
There are a couple of questions I think that we've covered, but just to reconfirm, the Daily Pass can be accessed on the website, but you can use other devices such as your cell phone or tablet. And it's easily retrievable there, but it's done through a web browser, correct?
Could you ask that question again, Elizabeth?
Well, the question was whether there was an app or whether the Daily Pass has to be accessed through a website. And then I know we mentioned the different devices, right?
Yes,
But my understanding that it was through actually through a web browser.
that is correct.
Yes, yes, you are correct. And depending on your phone, you're able to put that site right directly on your phone. If that makes it easier for families, you're going to be using that QR code on a daily basis for some families. And so that would be a good way of having it directly on your homepage of your phone, even if it's not an app, but you would be able to link it to the homepage of your phone. Most phones are able to have that. Most smartphones are able to have that capacity. Let me see. I have a parent who's asking a question about test. They have students at different school sites, and they want to test all their children at one school. So yes, you're able to test at any of our schools, including it can be out of our district. We know we have parents that have students in Magnet or across the district, maybe not at the same school, but for ease of testing and the process, please make sure you have your child's 10-digit ID. that would really help streamline the information. The school might not have all the school's information and students' information, but you would need to have that ID number to be able to test with ease. Okay, I'm looking at.
Also, too, are students going to have the pass on their own phones, or do parents fill out the parent portal or the daily pass through the parent portal every day?
So students who are 13 or older have the ability to fill out their own daily pass. Students who are under 13, the parent must do it. And it is a daily pass, so that means it has to happen every day. I have my own 2 kids, and I have to fill out the daily pass for them on a daily basis. I know personally that it is difficult and time consuming to do it every day, but I think about the why behind it and keeping them safe, making me feel assured that they're negative and this people around them where they're going to school are have a negative test makes me feel better. And I understand that. And although it's not something that we want to do, this is where we are in our society, and it's better to be safe. So I err on the side of being safe, and I'm glad that our district is doing that as well.
So I want to reiterate, I do have a question here from a parent not being able to use or choosing not to use in this example. This question was would prefer not to use, I'm just paraphrasing, electronics for the entrance to the school. Again, as long as you have the COVID-19 test and you answer the questions, the school does have a way, does have the information and being able to provide that on a daily basis so that students are able to come in. So if you don't have the technology or are not being able to use or choose not to use technology, that's fine. As long as your child has the COVID-19 test.
Now, if the parent has uploaded a negative result, but it's an external result or test, how long does it take for it to be looked at by the district and then validated on the daily pass?
So it's usually a quick turnaround time, but again, right now we're receiving many more all in one period. Many families are testing we have this 2-week window period. It might take a little longer than usual, but you should be receiving a response as soon as possible. If you have a concern, you can certainly call the hotline. If you feel like you've already waited several days, call the hotline to be able to refer you to that department and provide you with an update. And again, there's a lot of questions about do we need the actual daily pass? Do parents actually need the daily pass? If you can't find your student's ID or PIN and don't have that report card, I see some questions as the school generates those 10-digit IDs. I know right now it's taking longer, a little longer than usual, and you will need to get that 10-digit to be able to connect to Parent Portal and get your PIN number. So for new enrollees, we will give you updates. We will be having more of these sessions throughout the week. You can certainly connect with us directly so we can help support you and be able to have that information for you. Some families are indicating here they don't know how to use the daily pass. So then I encourage again to call the hotline or connect to one of us. We're able to help. Sometimes we need a Zoom with families or walk them through step by step. We're certainly available to be able to support those individual needs. So I have a parent who would like to know why they're not able to hear it in Spanish. We do have interpretation services available. You would just need to access it through the globe icon. I'm going to say it in Spanish because the parent might have come in later. So, si están aquí y gustan escuchar esta sesión en español, pueden oprimir el icono del globo al inferior de la pantalla, hagan clic y después de ahí puede seleccionar el idioma español para escuchar esta sesión en español. I hope that helps. So we do have Spanish translation for those families that need it in Spanish. Also on Thursday, we'll be hosting a session and we will have a bilingual session at 5 o'clock. And we will have another session at 6 p.m. that will be Spanish only. So I'm trying to look through these questions, but there's questions, so many questions coming in, they start moving around as I'm trying to read them. Again, no, parents are not required to have the daily pass, but if you're doing our tests and alongside your child and want to have that on the daily pass, that's certainly a great way to be able to come into campus again with ease and makes it a smoother process. And yes,
Ms. Arreguin, just what recommendations do we want to offer our families when they haven't received the test results within 48 hours? It's been longer.
yeah. So again, I would refer you to the hotline. There is a team that engages with that community engagement piece that's focused on COVID-19 tests. They would be able to go and look into that system and find out for you what's happening with your test results. You should have already received them. They come in rather quickly. Typically even 48 hours at the most is what I've waited. And we've been testing for a while, including when we came back in spring. So definitely would reach out to the hotline so that they can look up your individual information and be able to give you those results. Now, if you selected when you created your appointment that you would like to receive the results through your email, also an email notification, you might have it on your email. You might have it on your daily pass if you don't see it there again, and it's been several days. I would certainly have you connect to the hotline. Now, you can also see the results yourself. So when you come on campus and you see the name of the child, or for example, even as employees, it gets shaded in. You would be able to see if that child creates a QR code. So if you're able to see the QR code, that means your child is eligible or is able to come on campus with ease. If you don't see that QR code, that means that the results are not in. And you, again, if you're not able to see the results yourself or inquire about it, it could be that they're pending, or it could be that there's something else going on. So that would be something that you would be notified about. Okay, so we do have, again, I see concerns about some families that have uploaded their negative tests and have not received their response yet. So again, I would ask you to connect with the hotline and be able to have that team support you individually. So we have some families that are coming in, maybe not, didn't come in at the beginning. So please excuse that we are being a little repetitive. But again, if you're there, maybe your child forgot their homework at home and you're just going to come back to school to drop that off, you're a parent, or you just want to come in quickly to the school site, there is a procedure to answering the questions that are required before entering the school campus for you to do a regular school business in the front office, or for just regular school business that you might need to attend to. Again, if you have the daily pass, then that certainly is helpful, but you can come in as a guest.
There is a question about how often the students need to test. And I know we have shared that for the baseline test, right, that is 14 days before the first day of school. And then after that, we are going to be testing weekly.
So that has depending on what our requirements are and the guidelines that we get with health officials, right now we're doing the baseline and it's good for 2 weeks. The school will continue to provide those updates, whether students would need it on a weekly basis or every other week, will all depend on the recommendations that would be made. Okay. Elizabeth, do you see any other questions that we haven't answered?
So I'm typing now the answer to testing sites for COVID testing. The 2 permanent testing sites for local district central are Evans Adult School and Carver Middle School. But all of our local districts have 2 permanent testing sites each. And we have the mobile testing units going to our various schools every day. We shared the schedule for tomorrow and Friday. And those mobile testing units are also giving the test to students and staff at those schools. And then every school will have the mobile testing unit there every week, and the school will inform you as to the date and time. Usually when they're there one day of the week, it's for the whole day, 8 to 3:30.
We also have a question on the bus, the school bus, and it said, the question is a daily pass needed before students can get on the school bus?
So I know there's very specific procedures for the school bus. I will try to get that answer before we end this session. So if you give me a moment, I will try to give you the most updated information about the school bus.
We have a question about what happens if a kid tests positive? How long after do the other kids in the class get tested? And is one negative considered final? Would the absence be cleared? My teammates, our colleagues, feel free to help me out with this question. As far as I know, when it comes to children testing positive, you have 2 categories. You have a isolation, you have a quarantine category, and you have a I forgot the other one. And this is determined by whether they themselves tested positive or if they are around somebody that tests positive. If they themselves test positive, they will be quarantined. If they did not test positive, but they are around somebody for contact tracing purposes, they will also have to, I believe, isolate as well. But when this happens, the community engagement team will be contacting the families as well as the students that are affected. And this is something that my colleague Elizabeth talked about earlier in our presentation. Just to let you know that if somebody does test positive in a class, the community engagement team will get in contact with that family and the families that are affected about what are the next steps going forward.
Okay, so regarding the question for the bus, so at this time, students would be boarding the bus and they would go through the protocols once they arrive to school. That is the procedure at this time. Also at this time, students, once they commence school, will be tested weekly. And again, based on current health requirements, those things might change. At this time, that's the response that we have. And that's the procedure that would be in place. Okay. Okay. I hope that answered the question. And we had one parent asking that. So I think I have a parent asking questions about the QR code. I'm not sure if it's a question. So, last year, our youngest students, our elementary school students, in the early grades, might have received QR codes for different purposes or to activate some of their assignments to make it easier for the little ones and possibly getting into Schoology. But that's separate from the daily pass. The daily pass is to be able to come on campus and for parents to have up-to-date information with their test results and for each member of their family and to be able to, again, themselves access the campus with ease. But at this time, some schools do use QR codes, but they might be for other activities or other schoolwork that they're assigning at individual schools to make it easier for our youngest learners. Okay, so I have a parent also who had a mix-up with her child's ID. So I'm gonna recommend that you connect with us so that we can help you resolve that problem. Information. Maybe Mr. Campbell, can we put the information for, I'm gonna go back and put the information for the hotline, especially for families that are interested in getting more up-to-date information. I know we have families that are waiting for those tests that they've uploaded themselves, their own, that they're waiting for a response from. And again, here is the number for this help desk to be able to support you. And again, to connect to that community engagement team.
And I'll say the number aloud, 213-443-1300. That is the family hotline for your concerns regarding the results for the test that you may not have received as of yet. Also, a question, Ms. Arreguina, I understand that we must do the daily pass the morning of and not the prior evening, right?
Yes, the morning of, yes. Because the system will keep track of how many days it's valid. So yes, it would have to be the morning of. So I would say it's safe to say once it's 12 a.m., you're able to generate it. Some families are choosing to print their daily pass for the day. And they can do that also, so have a paper copy of it. And that's okay too.
And just to be clear, yes, our students will need and staff members will also need a daily pass every day.
Yes. There's a parent asking how to add their child in that field. In order to add your child and see your child directly on the daily pass, once you make your parent portal account and you link your child to the parent portal with your PIN code, then you will be able to see it on the daily pass automatically. And yes, again, to reiterate, Elizabeth just indicated, yes, it would be every day that you would need the daily pass. So again, another question about that. So if you're not seeing your children, but they took the test, but you're not seeing it on your daily pass, or you're not seeing it at all, please make sure that you connect them from the parent portal. Getting the parent portal will connect it automatically to your children. So I do believe a screenshot works for the daily pass. I would test it first, but usually a screenshot does pick up the daily pass.
The screenshot does work.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Arreguin, for the daily pass, I've used this screenshot many times.
Yeah, so the screenshot is a really simple way for you to be able to access it. Maybe you have a babysitter that's dropping off your child, and we know, especially in the morning, everybody's trying to get to work. You have two or three students, two or three children to get to school, so it might be take a little bit of time in the morning. So please know that you can do that also. So again, a lot of questions about not being able to see their child's information, and that's probably because you're not connected to the parent portal. The parent portal would need your parent PIN. The parent PIN would allow you to connect the parent portal to your child. So it kind of connects the parent to the child, and that would connect you to all the features that are in parent portal. The good thing about the parent portal, it's a one-stop shop. You're able to submit applications for volunteer. You're able to see grades and assignments. You're able to connect to your child's teacher. If you're in middle school, you're able to see progress towards graduation. In high school, you're able to see their A through G progress for graduation. And most importantly, you're able to see grades and assignments to keep up with the supports that your child might need, and actually to celebrate all the wonderful things they're doing in school. Also, you'll also be able to see their attendance. So it's a one-stop shop. We invite you to connect with us tomorrow. We will be also having information that'll be offered. We'll do a quick review of the parent portal and also of the daily pass. For those of you that may not know how to connect to the parent portal, that would be one that you might be able to join. It's the same link that you have today. You can use that same link. It's the same one. Oh, I'm sorry, not for Thursday. We're doing that with our board member, but Friday, it would be the same link. We have, again, the daily pass and the parent portal being offered Thursdays and Fridays. You can find also that information on our local district central website. I could put the link there. And then I always send reminders. You should receive it by text. So if a parent is just coming to school and picking up students, and depending on the drop-off procedures from the school, they're usually at the gate. You would not need, it would be the same business as usual. You wouldn't need to necessarily have the daily pass because you wouldn't be coming onto campus. So that would not be necessary. But if you are coming on campus, it would be very easy if you had the daily pass, or you would have to answer the questions as you come in. Each school has different dismissal procedures. So I would make sure that whatever meeting your principals are having or information sent to by the school, you'll be receiving Blackboard messages. I know some of the schools are already doing coffee with the principal for all those important day-to-day procedures. Each campus is unique. Each situation is unique at each school. Some have more dismissal gates, some might not have as many. So just every situation is different. I would certainly connect to the school to see what that would look like for your child's first day of school. We're excited that kids are coming back. I'm sure you're excited that your kids are returning to campus. It's been a long time. So again, I'd like to reiterate that you do not have to use the parent portal. I've responded to that question. I know it's the same parent. Please know that if you would not like to use the parent portal, we certainly can still welcome your child. We just need the COVID test for you to be able to come on campus and for your child to be able to join us. We welcome all our students to come back. We do want everybody to be safe. We have systems in place and protocols in place to keep everyone in place at our schools safe. So that is our number one priority. And I know it's a number one priority for you.
So this was an earlier question, but it's pretty straightforward. When mom or dad goes in the daily pass, he or she must put in his or her information first, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then put in the child's information.
Yes,
So
and
yes.
it'll ask you questions like at the beginning, you would have to put your information because only you can actually give that authorization. So it would ask you for your information. And then it asks you who you are registering. Sometimes maybe it's just you that are going to take the test. Maybe you would like to take the test on a day that you're off and you have the time to go take that test. So it just depends on how you, what you're requesting, whether it's for you or your whole family or just for your children.
And at that time, that's when it would be very important if they had their student ID
Yes.
and when they're inputting their child's information.
Mhm. So again, people are coming in at different times. So I just want to reiterate, this other parent indicates no phone to show the daily QR. Please know that your child would just need to go through the regular procedures, again, answering the questions depending on that age level and being able to come to school. We would have that information to be able to help your child get into class or get into school. Again, it does have to be the same day. Somebody's asking about uniforms. Some schools have uniform policies in place. Please check with your school. You can give them a call and find out what is the uniform policy. And again, even with the uniform policy, they would be able to give you supports about what that looks like, what your individual needs might be. Please connect to the school. Not all schools have uniform policies, but many do. They're saying that the picture with the dates and times is too blurry. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stop sharing and then I'll put the actual website. So let me go to the actual website so families could see it, see the actual schedule, maybe not so blurry. And let me find that schedule for you. And again, if you live in an area, maybe you work somewhere closer and it's easier for you to take your kids. Maybe your babysitter lives in another area and maybe it's just more convenient for you. On the website, you can look up the sites from other local districts also. So I'm going to go ahead and share. Let's see if you can do that. Let me see. Okay, I think you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see this your screen.
Okay. Okay. So if you look at here are the names of the schools. I'm gonna quickly scroll down so you could see. Tomorrow we'll be at 10th Street, 20th, Adams, Aragon, Berendo, Burbank, Cahuenga, Carver, Clifford, Clinton Middle School, Commonwealth, Cruz EEC, Dahlia Heights, Del Olmo, Doris Place, Franklin, Avenue Elementary, Harmony, Hooper PC, LA Elementary, Los Feliz, Main Street, Mayberry, Normandy Avenue EEC, Normandy Avenue Elementary, Salvin Special Ed Center, Union Avenue, Weems, and West Vernon. So for those of you that still haven't had that test, we also have the option of going to Carver Middle School or Evans Adult School. And then for Friday, these are the schools. I'm going to call them out because I know it's a little difficult maybe for some families to see it. And then what we'll do is we'll put the link, I'll copy and paste this link on the chat so that you're able to retrieve that information. I'll put it on the chat for you to click on that directly. And then tomorrow on Friday, we will have, again on Friday, 37th Street EEC, 49th Street, Aldama, Alexander, Atwater, Buchanan, Esperanza, Evans Adult School, Hoover Elementary, Ivanhoe Elementary, Kim Academy, Kim Elementary, Lizarraga Elementary, LA Academy Middle School, MacArthur Park Elementary, Menlo Avenue, Mitchell Torina, Mount Washington, Nava Learning Academy, Poindexter Lamont, Politi, San Pasqual, San Pedro, Vermont Avenue, and Whitney. So we have a lot of opportunities, again, for you to be able to take the test. We'll also be open on Saturday for testing at Evans Adult School and Carver Middle School. There's still time to take those much needed COVID-19 tests.
Ms. Araguin, can you remind the parents the time frame of how long those test sites are open until tomorrow, the mobile testing units and Friday?
Sure. Let me go back, and I believe it's from 8 to 3:30, but let me go back in and go back to the top.
Yes, 8
And it
to
says-
3:30.
Yeah, so the time frame, are you able to see it? Baseline testing, the testing is from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I think parents were able to get the link. So again, just want to reiterate the most important thing if you're coming back to school in person is for you to be able to take the test. The COVID-19 test is the most important thing.
There is a question about having to make an appointment, right? An appointment is not necessary for those sites in the next 2 days.
So no,
you
I mean, we
should-
prefer for you to have an appointment. What happens when you have an appointment, you go in one line. And of course, getting people in with their appointments is you've made an appointment, it's more of a priority. But what happened is there's those that don't have an appointment and they still bring you in. As we're bringing in our appointments, we try to fit you in as best as possible. You might have to wait a little bit longer, but you certainly will be seen.
And yes, for the last few questions, for a new kindergarten student or a first year student in school, you will receive, or your child will receive his or her identification number upon enrollment. Ms. Arreguin?
So remember, we talked about that. If it's a brand new student upon enrollment, remember it takes 24 hours at a minimum. And typically that's the time frame it takes for us to be able to generate that ID number. So once that's generated, then you will be able to get a PIN number. For new enrollees, if you're not able to get that, it's by Friday, you can call that hotline, or on Thursday if you still don't have it. So we can see how we can support you in getting those PINs. You also have our information here. My name's Teresa Araguin here on the top. You see my email. You also see our coaches. You can connect to any one of us also. The most important place that you can go to is your school. And I know they have support personnel there that would be able to give you that ID number once it's generated. And then once it's generated, we should be able to see that PIN. We are struggling with, I think our early ed centers are not coming in right now. They're doing updates. And we do expect us to be able to have everybody's PIN as soon as possible for those that are enrolling. But if you just enrolled today, for example, we might not have that student ID number as of yet. You'll have to wait at a minimum 24 hours, but typically that's what it takes. Okay, so we will be back on tomorrow at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. We'll do an overview. Again, you have our information. Many of you have more individual questions, individual needs. So we want to make sure that we leave you with our emails, our information, so that you can connect to us. Yesterday, we did the parent portal piece, and we were certainly able to get back to, I was able to get back to all my families today that connected with me. So please know, it might take us a little bit during the morning to be able to get back with you, but we are very good at getting back to people with their emails. If you need a PIN number, you haven't been successful, again, please call the hotline or call one of us, email one of us, and we'll be glad to help you. When you send us an email, please put your name, your child's name, the name of the school, and if you have their ID number already, we can search. I usually try to look up the information before I give you a call back, and I would be able to support you in that way. Makes it easier. Once we call you, we're ready to go. If it's a PIN number, you would need to connect with us via either Zoom, typically on a Zoom, just so that we can make sure that we're giving the information to the parent or legal guardian of that child. Your information is very important to us and confidential for your child. So we do require ID to verify that you're the parent and that we're giving your child's information to the person that's the parent or legal guardian. Also, before I leave, anything with the parent portal, parents, it's a different PIN that the PIN numbers your children use for their accounts and their Schoology that they get from the school. So there's a parent PIN for each parent. So if mom can have one, dad can have, any legal guardian on the upon enrollment has a PIN, their own PIN, and each one of your children have their own PIN. So today I had a parent who was trying to sign up his children with the same PIN. And so I just had to find the pins for his other children, and he was able to successfully add them. So please make sure that once you do get the parent portal, each parent has their own PIN for each one of their children with LAUSD. And once you register on parent portal, that parent portal account follows you throughout high school upon graduation. So you will definitely only have to do that parent portal piece one time. So
Ms.
with that,
Regina, I'd like to respond to one last question,
sure.
which was made actually in Spanish. And for the LAUSD students, parents must accompany each child to take the COVID-19 test, correct? That was the question. Or can a family member accompany the child to take the COVID-19 test?
I believe it's the parent that needs to come with their child, but I can certainly find out if there's any other parameters if you give me a moment.
Okay, and also I can respond to the other part of the question, which the results of the COVID-19 tests are supposed to be directed back to the family within 24 to 48 hours. So if it's been 48 hours or more, we recommend that you call the LAUSD hotline for family services, which is 213-443-1300, because generally the results come back relatively quickly. My partner Alex mentioned that as soon as 12 hours or less sometimes. So if you're not getting those test results for your student within 2 days, please call 213-443-1300 so that they can research and find those results for you.
Can I share my screen so I can show the flyer for the upcoming workshops for this week?
Ms. Regina is sharing at the moment, correct?
Yes. Okay, I think she's trying to research the parents' question then. It's okay.
Can you share if you try?
Let me try. Do you see my screen?
Yes, there it is. Thank you.
So parents, I would like to share with you the flyer for our upcoming workshops for this week. Like Ms. Aragin talked about, we have one tomorrow on Thursday, 5 to 6. It's the English and Spanish session. And then we have one at 6 to 7, which is just a Spanish session only. So these are the links for those Zoom sessions. That is Thursday, tomorrow, August 12th. We also have on Friday, Elizabeth and I will be back here and we will be working on Parent Portal. So if you need assistance with Parent Portal, or you would need a refresher on how to sign up with Parent Portal, will be available on Friday. And it's the same time and it's the same Zoom ID that you sign up for this webinar.
Okay, so regarding testing, so it depends on who that, making sure that only the parent or legal guardian can give consent for testing. So if your child is already on the system and you provided consent, then someone else can go with them. But again, they would already have to be on the system. If not, then only the parent or legal guardian would be able to come to the center and get that test for their child. We had several students already testing in school when they came back in spring. And they would be there, they were already doing their testing on site. Okay. All right, everybody. So I know there's a lot of questions. I know there's so many different scenarios. Please connect with us for those individual questions. If you feel your question wasn't answered, we didn't get to your question, or I know some people joined us later. Please connect with us. We provided you with our information. We'd be glad to work with you individually and to help support you through this process. Thank you for your patience. Everyone's dealing with so much at this time. We hope your family is safe and healthy and in a really wonderful place as we return back to school. Thank you, everybody. Have a really great evening. Thank you to Elizabeth and Mr. Campbell, Ms. Lomeli and Mr. Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we're here, your parent engagement team, to help support you. And we hope that you have a wonderful opening of the school year. We're all in this together, families. It's been a rough year. We're starting a new school year with new lessons learned, and we wish